Well, just like everybody else, you order parts nowadays. It's anybody's guess when you're going to get them or if you're going to get them. So I finally got some in the mail. We're going to see if they're the right ones. They don't look right. We're going to try. Alright, I think we finally got this clean, and we're going to put it back together here and see if we can really stop all the issues that we've been having. We'll spray this float off. You know, especially on the old school type, the brass floats, you want to shake them. If you hear fluid inside of the float's probably not any good. Get you a new float. These plastic ones aren't as bad about doing that. But I mean, it's still possible. You want to check them. And there's all kinds of different styles of how the needle and the float actually work together. This one in particular just slides on. See the gap at the top here, it just kind of slides on like so. And you make sure it goes down into the seat like so. And now that we got the needle and the seat back in, do a little preliminary check here. Everything looks good and clean. And we have our O-ring on this emulsion tube. I'm guessing this is an emulsion tube. Anyway, take our short screw, Phillips screwdriver. It goes back in this hole. Phillips screwdriver, our Phillips head screw, it goes back in here, which is basically a hold down for the float assembly. We screw it down, and you don't want to over tighten, because you can over tighten this stuff and ruin it pretty easily. Matter of fact, they give you a lot of extra screws in some of these kits because of that. It's very easy to over torque them and cause yourself a huge problem. So alright, we're going to try to get this thing back together and see if we can improve our situation. You want to make sure your gasket is in the groove. All my spots, make sure all my stuff looks good. It does. Phillips screwdriver. And when you do this, you want to just get this down to where you can feel just a slightest bit of resistance. Go across, tighten it down. It down. You get the resistance and continue the procedure. Just do a crisscross. You don't want to do it really tight at first because you want this to all tighten down pretty even. And then we'll be back to putting it back on the machine. You're going to find in this video this is kind of an odd spot because we kind of fixed the machine, but I noticed it was still leaking back, so I went ahead and decided I was going to go ahead and take it back off and do this. I'm going to save you all that trouble of seeing me take it off, put it back on. You see that in the video here, but just kind of a little bit of bonus footage here for anybody out there running into a problem. Check this. I might not have the stuff to even seal it back. This might be a big mistake, but I'm going to take it off and take a look. It's a solenoid. I'm thinking it's I would assume some type of shut-off solenoid. I'm not really sure though. Don't quote me on it. is an O-ring on it. I'll spray this off a little bit here. And yeah. Now, worst case scenario, we can reuse this O-ring. It really doesn't feel bad, but it felt a little bit loose for my liking. So I'm gonna stick this. Whoop, I'm gonna stick this O-ring on. Feels a little tighter. Might not be the right one. We'll just look here and see. It went on good. Hey, I think that actually worked pretty good. I'm gonna do that and trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard. I'm not used to filming. Bear with me, I'll get better at it. Like I said, you want everything tight, but you don't want to over torque it. Alright, we're going to put this thing back on and see what we got. Alright, this is the Hobart Champion 10,000 Welder Generator. This thing was locked up, full of water. Had a lot of tons of electrical problems when I got it. Put a little, well, I'll say a little, I put a lot of time and energy into getting it running. I figured if I could stay within about $600 total, then it would be a payoff for it. I managed to again get it fixed for a lot less than that, and I wish I had a video to show you guys, because I think it would have been really helpful. But like I said, that was before I started videoing things, and it's actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to start a channel. I could have helped some people with this, could have saved some people a lot of money, could have gave some good advice, and I didn't record any of it. So that's why I started my channel. So not that it's a how-to, because it's not. That's my disclaimer. This is not a how-to. I don't do how-tos. I show you how I do it, and if you can get help from that, great. But you're, you know, attempt at your own risk. You're responsible for your own decisions, all that good stuff. But I'm going to try to get this carburetor put back on here and see if we can't fire this baby up. Alright, I took the carburetor off waiting on parts. I just put the air breather cover right back on it. And then I always keep it covered because it's outdoors. Put a rag down in here, you know, just to keep it trash from getting in there. Or try to anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get all this put together here. Alright. Gasket looks good. It's been about a month since I took it off, so I'm trying to remember exactly how to put it all back together. I believe that you went in there like that, and you went in there, well, went in there like that. I don't know if I'm even getting any of this on film here, if you can really see it, how this all goes back together. Which I guess if you're taking it apart, you're probably smart enough that you're probably taking pictures and all that stuff. So yeah, all right, try to get this back on it. This little governor thing, man, it drove me nuts trying to bring this thing back from the travesty that it was. It was really a pain in the butt. And hook up that wiring back here, make sure that's plugged in right. There's a ground here that has to be put on, make sure it goes on in its place. You know, just basically putting things back together. The purpose of the video that I'm making right now, this video today, I just want to give people a little more idea of why I started the channel in the first place. work. Okay. Anyway, YouTube channel. I thought, well, I've got to do this work anyway. I may as well record it. Somebody might get some entertainment value out of it. And I have some really cool stuff that I've got planned to do as well coming up that I was going to do before I even thought about the channel. And I'm thinking, man, I think people really dig this. So I have some billet runs and things like that that are going to come up on some pretty awesome old vehicles. And we may go to the salvage yard and just grab some engines or something and just start fixing them and see if we can make them run. And yeah, just some hobby stuff. All right, so now I've got the carburetor installed and putting the plate back on for the air breather. Really hoping that everything works like it should here, and it might not, because that water that got in the fuel could have done a number on it. I don't know. I hope not. Hope there's nothing deeper that I have to do, but it's very possible. I noticed I've replaced this fuel pump, I think 3 times. These cheap fuel pumps, I mean, they're pretty terrible, to be honest. They really are. I don't know why they don't last, but they just don't last. They don't. No matter what I do. Alright, so I'm going to get the battery hooked back up, and I'm going to see about getting this thing a crank. Be right back with you. Alright, carburetor's installed. Choke's out. Engine's on the start. Let's see if it'll even crank over. Come on, baby. Pump some fuel up in there. Alright, that fuel pump might be out again. I hope not, but we're going to give it a little bit of... Well, and it may be out of gas. I had to drain out a bunch, so that might be what we're dealing with. I guess let me go to the store and get some fuel, and we'll try again. So I guess for this trip to the store, we'll take Grandpa's old F-150. My favorite truck, mainly because it was my grandpa's. All right, see if this thing will crank. It's been about 2 weeks since I've cranked it. Hopefully it will. Oh, look at there. Sweet. All right, we're good to go. I'm gonna turn this camera off because I need to pay attention to driving. Go get some fuel. Come back, try to get the generator going. 5 gallons of fuel. Literally worth its weight in gold. Ugh. All right. I'm gonna put a little fuel in this thing and see if we can get it running. Good times. Don't spill it. I'm gonna get this filled up and then we'll try to crank it. Alright, we got a rag here, shop rag. Not the cleanest of all time, but since the well, I'll just show you. You can see there's no fuel in the fuel filter. I'm hoping this pump's not out. And it could be. It might have sucked enough water into it to maybe ruin the diaphragm pump there. I hope not. So I'm going to put some fuel on this shop towel, and I'm going to wrap it around the intake air cleaner here and see if we can't help it kick off and suck some fuel up. This air filter really needs replaced, but it's one of those things again where, you know, good luck finding parts right now. So we're going to do that and see what happens. don't recommend this. It can backfire and cause a fire, so you know, I don't recommend it. But here we are. We're gonna give her a go, see what happens. Choke on, engage. Well, it wanted to. Try to help that along a little bit more, maybe. All right, pulled a little bit of fuel up. Maybe it's gonna prime. I don't know. I guess. I seen it. It's trying to suck up some fuel over there, so I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough in it. I mean, I had to pump out a bunch of fuel, but I thought that actually would be enough. Let me see if I can get some fuel in it. I don't really recommend this either. This is probably going to end badly. Yeah, that's plenty of fuel. All right. Don't recommend you running one without the air filter on it, and don't pour gas down there like I just did. Oh, man, that fuel still looks bad. Oh, I don't know about that, guys. I don't know. It looks really bad. Maybe I didn't get all the water out. Oh, yeah. That ought to be enough to start a fire. Looks terrible. Okay, got some carbon choke cleaner. I don't recommend any of this either, but I got to try to do something to get it running long enough to prime itself. Sounded terrible. Wow, sounds terrible. So it looks like that the generator is not want to cooperate, and the gas that's still in there, I thought I had it all pumped out. It looks pretty bad, really bad actually. The battery is dying again, so I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna pull the battery out of my truck and see if I can't set it behind it and use it to try to get it going. It's the best thing I know to do right now. So let me try to get that battery out, and then I'll be back with you. All right, I guess we'll try to get the never start off. Excuse me, the max never start. Don't fail me now, never start. Don't fail me now. Really don't like robbing batteries out of trucks and stuff, especially for this, but I'll give you a hint. One of the biggest reasons these generators fail, the circuit boards and all that, the battery goes dead, and you know what happens? People try to jump start them, and that will ruin them. It'll fry the board, it'll put them out of commission. So if you have a dead battery in one of these generators, gas powered generators, do not use jumper packs. Don't try to jump it off. Charge the battery or replace the battery with one that has a charge. Jumping it will ruin it, the circuit board. You heard it here. I promise you, don't do it. All right, so I'm going to try to get something to set this battery up on so the leads will reach, and then we'll hook it up and try it out. Okay, got the battery out of the Ford. We're going to try to hook it up here. Use the old Cricut container to set it up on and get it high enough. I just don't want to getting this battery out and all that's a pain in the butt, and you know, I'll put it on the charger when we're done here. But yeah, so we're just going to try to make this work with what we're working with. Probably want to set you down to hook this up, and then you know how to hook a battery up. So we'll put the never start on there in just a second. Okay, we have the never start hooked up, and hopefully it'll stay there while we crank on it. And ought to have enough cranking amps to launch this sucker to the moon. Let's see if we can't get a few more results. Choke on. Engage. You ain't got no gas in it. Whoa, yeah. We'll have to edit that out. Try it again. Come on, baby, come on. Come on, run. Oh, you bastard. Okay, so I can get it to fire off, but for some reason, we're building up fuel pressure here and getting it going, and we're losing it all. So I've got to figure it out. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We must be losing something somewhere else here on the fuel end. So I'm going to work on this, and then I'll get back with you. All right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see all this or not. We'll put this clamp on, or we're going to try to anyway. Just clamp on, just like that. Just like that. Tube back on. I'm gonna try to get our cinch down here and see if that's where we're losing our prime. We're losing it somewhere here, and I really think it's got something to do with this. I hope. If not, we're back to square one again. I didn't see anything wrong with the carburetor that would cause it. Maybe this fuel pump's bad. I don't know. Let's stick her back in here and give her a shot. Gotta try again. I want to say, well, the pump's working because it's working. I don't know. Let's try it again. Choke on. Engage. All right. Well, as you can see here, I think we might have come across a little bit of our problem. We're going to replace this whole thing. Got a new hose. Semi-new filter. We're going to give this a try and see what happens. Hopefully we get this fixed. I'll try to zoom in on it. This was restricting the flow. Somehow it sucked itself down. I don't know. Never seen that before. Just got lucky that I noticed it. Anyway, replaced the fuel filter. That fuel still doesn't look all that great. Doing the best we can. I put an old pump back on it. It seems to be holding pretty good. I don't know about that either. Got me a little mixture here. We'll give it a little squirty squirt, and the whole thing actually. And we're gonna see if this thing will run. You probably can't hear me very well. Might have to let that run, but I bet you that all these fuel pumps that I had put on it in the past, you know, if they'll start having problems, I would bet you those fuel pumps are probably good. I bet I was having problems out of that filter being sucked down, restricting that fuel flow. Running great right now. I'm gonna let it run a little bit, let it heat up, do a heat cycle, and yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'll try to button it all up. Awesome. I'm going to get the battery on the charger, get the rest of this tidied up, and then we'll be done with it. All right, we're gonna crank it back up one more time and make sure everything's still good before I do the finishing touches on it. But I think we got it fixed. Yeah. And now you can see, or I hope you can see, you know, the fuel don't look that great, but now you can see after doing the needle and seat, cleaning that back up, not to actually change the needle, put a new one in. Notice how the fuel's staying in the system. Like I said a while ago, it's like putting your straw into a glass, putting your glass of water, putting your finger over the top of the straw and pulling the straw out. Well, it holds the fluid, the water, in the straw and until you remove your finger, and then it'll come out. It's the same principle here with the needle and the seat. The needle goes down, it holds pressure, keeps this line from losing prime, keeps the bowl full. When it gets low inside of the carburetor, the float will come down, and when it does, it picks up on the needle and relieves the pressure. Fuel can get back in, and this pump here is pumping in. So we got it fixed. I hope this helps you. Engage. Fixed it. Awesome. See you next time. If you don't mind, if you like stuff like this, like and subscribe. I have a lot of good stuff on there. I think it's good stuff. I hope you'll stop by and check it out. See you next time.